Number 1, my health is king. At 40 years old, you realize just how important your health is. Having a good job, a nice car, a great house, all those material items, they are important to a certain extent. However, they take a back seat to the number one priority lurking in the shadows, your health. I knew of a few people that got very sick and ill in their late 30s, early 40s, and it makes you sit up and realize, if you are healthy, just how lucky you actually are. You suddenly find around the age of 40 that you replace bad habits such as smoking, drinking, late night partying with better habits such as daily exercise, eating a balanced home-cooked meal, and hopefully early bedtimes. At 20 years of age, the will reigns. At 30, the wit, and at 40, the judgment. Benjamin Franklin. Number 2, information is power. Those people that continually grow and learn will steer their ship in the right financial direction and gain prosperity because they realize the power that information has. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Also Benjamin Franklin. Number 3, success is built on the foundation of good habits. If you have good habits, say at your work or in your home life with your finances, your chances of success go up dramatically. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. Number 4, marriage is like a garden, requiring consistent care. If issues are left ignored and unattended, they can quickly overwhelm the relationship and take over. However, if you maintain and address issues head on with open communication, you'll come back and your garden won't be full of weeds. Number 5, time is valuable and easily wasted. Your time is one of the most valuable currencies that you have, and everybody wants a piece of it. Your boss, your employer, your family, your friends, yourself, and it does not come back. Be sure that you're using your time effectively and wisely. I try to not allow my kids or myself to be on mindless apps such as TikTok, scrolling, as while they're good for entertainment, you'll find hours will quickly vanish and you'll be wondering where the time went. Number 6, a good night's sleep is very precious and can change your outlook on life. I've had situations where I've had problems, something that I need to deal with, it was just a headache, but rather than staying up all night worrying about it, I went to bed. I got a great night's sleep, a full 8 hours, and when I woke up the next morning, I was refreshed and looked at the problem in a new light with a new perspective. It changed my outlook on the problem, and I was better able to cope and manage it. Number 7, change can actually be a good thing. So why are we so afraid of it all the time? As I'm a creature of habit, however, I want to continue to grow and evolve as a person.
What if I told you that 10 years from now, your life would be the exact same? I doubt you'd be happy. So why are you so afraid of change? Karen Salmonson.
Number 8, remember your margin of safety. Famous billionaire Warren Buffett says the 3 most important words when investing are MOS, margin of safety, meaning the intrinsic value of the stock he holds and buys is different than the current market value. So he makes sure that there is a margin of safety to act as a buffer to protect his investments. I believe this should also apply to certain matters in life. With your debt, with your financing, with buying a home, you should always have a financial buffer just in case life throws you a few curveballs. Number 9, you have to know when to walk away from a situation. Have you ever been in an argument with someone and no matter what you say, what evidence you present that helps your case and hurts their case, they are adamant and firm and will not budge. They are so determined in being right. This is what Dr. Phil McGraw refers to as a right fighter. They don't want to compromise, see your point of view, or develop as a person and grow. They just want to win the argument no matter the cost or what evidence is presented. There are times like this when you have to either step back and look at the situation or determine, is this a battle that I want to have, and simply walk away from the argument. It is a waste of your time and energy. Number 10, make meaningful choices in life. All we have to do is to decide what to do with the time we are given. Gandalf, Lord of the Rings. I love that movie. Number 11, not everyone will agree with what I say or like me as a person. I'm fine with that. And as long as you're representing your true authentic self, that's okay. At the age of 40, you come to terms and just learn to accept that. Not everybody's going to like you, everybody's different, and that's okay. They can be and say who they want to be, and you do what you want to do, and that suits you best. Number 12, very few things are finished or actually over. Many years ago, Robert Downey had personal problems in his life. He was on a downward spiral with his career, and Hollywood was wanting to quickly close the door on his career. However, it wasn't until he was eating a burger at Burger King that allegedly it was so gross and disgusting that he tossed it out and was forced to turn his life around for the better. He was given a starring role in Iron Man 1, in which he was paid $500,000, plus 8% of the profits from the movie. The movie did so well that it became a cornerstone of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, made millions of dollars in future movies, and went on to be one of the most recognized and loved Hollywood stars ever.
I think he'll be the first to tell you, has struggled a great deal with his own particular set of demons, and now I understand he's better. He's clean, he's sober, and it's, as you know, it's a lifelong struggle. And congratulations for the struggle that has consumed the last 8 years that you obviously, as I said, have gotten control of now. Nice
Thank
going.
you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
This story resonates with people because people identify with the inner struggle and having the determination to turn your life completely around.
Iron Man.
If you're new here, I'm Aaron, a 20-year corporate accountant and analyst living in Western Canada. I teach about personal finance and sensible investing habits. I have the academic background and experience to actually back up what I'm saying. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider subscribing to my channel. Number 13, your circle defines your growth. I used to be not that selective of who I hung out with, who I called a close friend. I'd hang out at one time with almost anybody that wanted to. However, as I approached the age of 40, I became much more selective in who I considered a close friend. There's no problem with casual acquaintances, but I'm very reluctant or hesitant to immediately call somebody a close friend. Are they going to add to me intellectually, emotionally, or spiritually? Or are they going to be a drain on my energy? People often say you are a mix of the 5 people you most hang around with. So that being said, I'd select my friends wisely. Number 14, debt is a shackle. I don't know about you, but I really don't like carrying around in my pocket an IOU that I'm holding that I have to give to someone else eventually. I don't want the burden of debt hanging over my head, and the quicker I can get rid of it, the better my life will be. Number 15, if you don't respect yourself, you won't get respect from anywhere. This comes in not only dressing well and thinking highly of yourself, but also dismissing any negative talk. I try not to talk down about myself. I make playful jokes as I mess up. I make mistakes all the time. Everybody does. However, I'm very conscious about not letting self-doubt enter my psyche. Number 16, money can't buy happiness, but it sure makes a great down payment on it. This was actually something that my mother used to say to me, and it wasn't until I was older that I really understood it. Money is important to a point, but the primary purpose of it is that it buys us freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of independence, freedom of not having to go to work, to have options available to us so we don't have to listen to anybody else if we don't want. The freedom to go, to live where we want, to live in the kind of house we want, to do what we want to do with our time and not be shackled to a job dependent upon it for income. 17. Things won't always go as planned or to your level of expectations. I spent about 30 hours sometimes making a video, and I got so excited thinking, oh wow, this is going to go viral. Here we go. Boom. And it got over 2 days, 48 views. And I remember looking, thinking, wow.
This is kind of the opposite of viral.
The important thing is to maybe readjust your expectation levels and keep trying. Number 18, our impulses can quickly take over. Before you actually buy something, ask yourself, is this something that I actually need? Left unabated, impulses, like time, can quickly take over and we wonder where our money went. Number 19, simple strategies often work and are usually the best option. I don't care whether this is meal planning, a workout routine, an investment portfolio. You'll find that simple but effective strategies can yield the best results. So if you go to the gym and have a certain workout routine that's simplistic, but you get results from it, you're better off sticking with that rather than trying to implement some cumbersome, complicated workout routine that you don't like and they're just not committed to. I would much rather have an easy to understand, simplistic investment portfolio that I understand, that makes sense to me, rather than some overly complicated one that I don't understand and have to see a financial advisor about every few months to have it readjusted and reallocated. Simple strategies work. Number 20, sometimes you just have to say no. This was actually told to me by a CEO when I worked in oil and gas, and we were talking, and I told him about how I'm a people pleaser, how I try to accommodate everyone, listen to other people, do what I can for them. But he told me, which was a great valid point, that's great to a point, but sometimes you have to step back and say no. You have to look at the resources, your time, what's available to you, see if this makes sense for the amount of work that you have, and sometimes the best thing is just to tell the person no and move on. You can't do everything, and your time and energy is limited. Number 21, gradual daily improvements over years can yield enormous results. I remember 25 years ago, I got out of university, I started working in oil and gas, and I knew I was hardworking, ambitious, and smart, but not as smart as I thought I was. I remember I'd go forward and do things, and I thought, oh, I have this all figured out, I know what's going on. And then I reflected back on it 10, 15 years later, and I realized I was totally wrong. What was I thinking? I didn't know everything. I totally made mistakes here and there, but at the time, I thought I was so right. I thought I had everything figured out. However, I kept growing as a person. So think of what I'll know in 10, 15 years from now. Maybe I'll be wrong at this time again. But for right now, I make the best choices I can given the information I have. That's one of the key factors that I want to drive home in this channel. Is simple daily improvements can yield enormous results over time. One of my favorite motivational speakers ever, Earl Nightingale, says, if you do something daily, every day for just 1 hour a day, after 3 years, you'll become an expert in it. After 5 years, you'll become a national authority. And after 7 years, you'll become one of the best in the world at what you do. Just from 1 hour a day daily. Now, tell me someone that can't do something with enough determination. Number 22, I trust in my judgment more. When I was younger, I was always second guessing myself, running to my coworkers who had the same level of experience, but I wanted a double check to second guess myself and my abilities. It was better off going with myself and trusting my own judgment and instincts, as I often found after a while that I go to people and realized they don't know either. I went to a coworker one time and asked, is this how I should handle this problem? We were trying to allocate revenue. And she looked at it and, sure, yeah. And I realized in that instant, she didn't know either. She was just relying on her judgment. And the more you go to people and second guess yourself, even if you know the answer and are more than capable of doing the job, they will start to doubt you as well. It's better to trust your instincts and pick something and go with it than reevaluate if needed. Number 23, people have their own issues and concerns. They're usually not worried about yours. Many people are so wrapped up in how I will be perceived, what will they think of me? We all want to fit in and be accepted. However, so many people have so much going on in their own life, they're not focused on yours. Just do the best you can with what you have given to you and don't feel like you have to answer to anyone else. Number 24, getting married doesn't mean you'll be happy all the time. When you get married, you'll have your share of good times and your share of bad times. Having a strong marriage doesn't mean problems will never arise. It means that when they do arise, you're able to get through it together and lean on one another for support and dependability. Number 25, it's best to release anger and blame and not carry that around with you. I used to carry anger and resentment towards other people that had done me wrong, like clearly wrong. When someone has wronged you 100%, you know it was their fault. They know they messed up, but they don't admit it. And every time you see them, you pass them on the street, you run into them, you see them walking by and you just, I'm fine with it. And you see them go by and you have that anger and all your bad negative feelings come to the surface again, and you start rehashing, going over in your mind what happened, how they wronged you, how they hurt you. But yet, they're walking by you on the street unaffected. They have no clue that you dislike them, that you hate them, that you have any ill bearing towards them. Their life is unaffected while you're stuck carrying around all this baggage and anger and resentment towards them, affecting your life negatively. You have to learn to let that go. It doesn't mean that you forget about what happened, but you just cut it loose and say, life is too short. I don't need this in my life. I am going to move on and rid myself of this burden. I don't want to carry around this baggage any longer. So if you're curious on financial goals at the age of 40, where you should be financially, and how you compare with other people in Canada, check out this next video right here.